South Korea has long been an attractive destination in the eyes of people worldwide, thanks to the powerful appeal of its pop culture, especially through blockbuster dramas and K-pop music. In these hit films, South Korea is depicted with images of modern cities, sophisticated people, and a life full of vibrant colors. Romantic scenes from charming little cafes in Seoul, streets filled with red leaves during autumn, or luxurious apartments with panoramic city views have made many dream of living in the land of kimchi. However, behind those glamorous images, the reality of life in South Korea encompasses various shades that not everyone is aware of. Daily life for the locals is not only about glamour, but also includes pressures, challenges, and even simple beauties often overlooked. So is life in South Korea truly as beautiful as portrayed in films? Or is it just a part of the overall picture? This article will delve into various aspects of life in South Korea, from family life, living expenses, and environment to work culture, to help you gain a more comprehensive and realistic view of this country. 1. Family life in South Korea. South Korea, a nation blending tradition and modernity, is witnessing significant changes in family structure and concepts. In the past, the traditional model of multi-generational households living under one roof was the norm. Today, nuclear families and single-person households are becoming increasingly popular. Compact household sizes. According to recent statistics, the average household size in South Korea is only about 2.3 people, a significant decrease compared to previous decades. This change stems from several factors, including the increased independence of young individuals and high living costs in major urban areas like Seoul. Many young people now choose to live alone or marry later to focus on their careers, leading to a decline in traditional family sizes. Views on having children. Having children in South Korea is not just a personal decision, but is heavily influenced by social and financial pressures. The country's birth rate is among the lowest in the world, averaging less than one child per woman. This low rate is partly due to the high costs of raising children, from school tuition to extracurricular activities. Additionally, many parents feel the pressure to meet societal expectations regarding childcare and education, making them think carefully before deciding to have children. Cultural and social factors. Although modern family models are becoming dominant, traditional values of family unity remain strong. Festivals like Chuseok, Mid-Autumn Festival, and Seoul, Lunar New Year, are crucial times for family reunions and paying respect to ancestors. These values help preserve family bonds amid the fast-changing social landscape. 2. Income and living costs. One of the key factors in evaluating life in South Korea is income and living costs. According to recent statistics, the average monthly per capita income in South Korea ranges from $3,000 to $4,000. However, this figure can vary significantly depending on the industry, job position, and residential area. In major cities like Seoul, incomes tend to be higher, but so are living expenses. Monthly living expenses. The basic monthly costs for an individual include housing, food, transportation, and mandatory social insurance contributions. Housing expenses take up the largest portion, with average rental costs ranging from $500 to $1,500 per month for a small apartment. Additionally, monthly food expenses range from $300 to $500 depending on dining habits and the frequency of eating out. Tax and insurance. South Korea's taxation and insurance systems are notably complex. Workers typically allocate 15 to 20% of their gross income to income taxes, health insurance, and pension contributions. This significantly reduces the actual take-home pay of each individual. Dining culture and flexibility. The dining culture in South Korea is distinctly different from that in many other countries. While fresh produce in supermarkets can be quite expensive, there are many affordable dining out options, especially at local eateries or traditional markets. This allows people to adjust their monthly spending flexibly. In general, while incomes in South Korea may seem high, the high living costs compel many to carefully manage their finances. For foreigners, the price differences in financial systems can be a major challenge when starting life in this country. 3. Housing prices and accommodation issues. South Korea, especially in major cities like Seoul, is renowned for its skyrocketing housing prices. This is one of the biggest challenges for residents, particularly the younger generation. According to statistics, real estate prices in Seoul consistently rank among the most expensive in the world. Owning an apartment here often exceeds the financial capability of most workers, even those with above-average incomes. Housing systems, Jeonse and Wols. The housing system in South Korea includes various types, such as Jeonse, a lump sum deposit lease, and Wols, monthly rent payments. Jeonse requires tenants to pay a large upfront deposit, often 50 to 70% of the property's value, while Wols is more common but involves high monthly rental payments. This creates significant financial pressure for tenants, particularly for those who move from rural areas to cities for work. Limited living spaces. In major cities, living spaces are often limited. Compact apartments known as office tels have become popular, though not everyone is satisfied with the cramped conditions. Many young people opt for shared housing or small rooms called gosiwons, which usually only fit a bed and a desk. Government policies. The South Korean government has introduced several support policies, such as building social housing or offering low-interest loans to low-income citizens. However, the effectiveness of these policies remains limited, as the gap between housing supply and demand continues to widen. Many people must choose to live far from city centers or face significant debt to afford housing. Land scarcity. Beyond high costs, the scarcity of land in central areas is another key factor driving up housing prices. This creates a vicious cycle where demand for housing continues to rise, but supply fails to keep up. These challenges force many, especially young families, to carefully weigh their options between proximity to work and financial feasibility. 4. Education and academic pressure. South Korea is widely recognized for its rigorous and effective education system, which fosters highly skilled workers to meet the country's economic and social development needs. However, behind these achievements, the education system also imposes considerable pressure on students and their families. Education system and costs. The South Korean education system includes 6 years of elementary school, 3 years of middle school, and 3 years of high school. Afterward, students can pursue higher education if they meet the requirements. Parents in South Korea often heavily invest in their children's education, from formal schooling to private tutoring classes. Hagwons, private academies, are a significant part of many students' lives, where they take extra lessons in subjects like math, English, and science. Education costs in South Korea are substantial. On average, families spend millions of won monthly on tutoring and educational materials. This creates a significant financial burden, particularly for middle or low-income households. Academic pressure and psychological impact. One of the hallmarks of South Korea's education system is the immense academic pressure. Students face crucial exams, especially the College Scholastic Ability Test, which is seen as a decisive turning point for their future careers. To achieve high scores, many students dedicate long hours to studying, often from early morning until late at night. This pressure results not only in physical exhaustion, but also significantly affects students' mental health. Issues like stress, anxiety, and depression are prevalent among South Korean youth. Some students even resort to extreme measures due to their inability to cope with academic pressure. Reforms and solutions. In response, the South Korean government has implemented reforms to reduce academic pressure. Some schools have experimented with shorter school hours, more flexible learning programs, and extracurricular activities to alleviate stress. Additionally, campaigns raising awareness about mental health in schools have been strongly promoted. Non-governmental organizations and communities have also launched psychological support activities for students, equipping them with tools to handle pressure and achieve a balanced life. The future of South Korean education. Although challenges remain, South Korea's education system is among the best in the world. However, for long-term sustainability, extensive changes are needed to create a learning environment that is not only effective, but also emotionally and mentally healthy. 5. Work culture and working hours in South Korea. South Korea is renowned for its demanding work environment, particularly in major industries such as technology, automotive manufacturing, and entertainment. The country's work culture is characterized by dedication, a high sense of responsibility, and pressure to meet deadlines. Average working hours and overtime culture. According to statistics, South Korean workers typically work an average of 52 hours per week, even though the government has introduced regulations to cap maximum working hours to improve the quality of life. However, in many companies, especially large corporations, staying late at work is often seen as a sign of commitment and loyalty. This has contributed to a widespread overtime culture, known as kondae, a term describing rigid and traditionalist attitudes in the workplace. Impact on personal and family life. The pressures of work and extended working hours have negatively impacted workers' personal lives. Many sacrifice time with family, friends, and themselves. This has led to an increase in stress, anxiety, and mental health issues, particularly among younger workers. Additionally, frequent absences from family activities or a lack of time to care for children have caused many families to face a lack of connection. For women, balancing work and family responsibilities is even more challenging, contributing to lower birth rates and the decision by many to forgo marriage. Recent reforms. To address this issue, the South Korean government has implemented significant reforms, including reducing the maximum working hours from 68 to 52 hours per week, and encouraging businesses to adopt flexible work policies. Some companies have introduced measures, such as allowing remote work, unpaid leave, or reduced working hours while maintaining salaries. Furthermore, the culture of hwaeshik, after-work gatherings involving drinking with colleagues, is gradually changing. Increasingly, people prefer to spend this time on personal care or engaging in individual activities. The future of work culture in South Korea. Although positive changes are underway, transforming a deeply ingrained culture is not easy. However, with growing attention to mental health and work-life balance, South Korean workers are gradually prioritizing quality over quantity in their work. 6. Living environment and air quality. When thinking of South Korea, images of bustling streets, modern architecture, and a fast-paced lifestyle often come to mind. However, one critical aspect of life here is air quality, a factor that directly impacts the health and daily lives of its residents. Air pollution challenges. South Korea faces severe air pollution issues, particularly in major cities like Seoul, Busan, and Incheon. The main causes include increased emissions from vehicles, industrialization, and fine dust particles, PM 2.5, blown over from China. On days with high pollution levels, the sky becomes hazy, and health advisories are frequently broadcasted through media channels. The government has introduced various measures to combat pollution, such as restricting vehicles during peak hours, promoting renewable energy, and improving public transportation systems. However, significant challenges remain in reducing pollution levels effectively. Public awareness and green initiatives. Public awareness about environmental protection is gradually increasing in South Korea. Residents often wear medical masks outdoors, especially during fine dust seasons. Mobile apps providing air quality indexes help people plan their activities accordingly. Additionally, many NGOs and volunteer groups organize campaigns to plant trees, clean up the environment, and raise awareness about climate change. Green spaces. On the other hand, South Korea's green spaces deserve recognition. Large parks like Seoul Forest Park and Olympic Park offer residents a refreshing escape and a chance to unwind after stressful work hours. These areas not only serve as recreational spaces, but also act as the city's lungs, contributing to a healthier living environment. In summary, while South Korea faces air quality challenges, efforts by the government and its citizens have shown positive signs. With rising public consciousness and robust solutions, the living environment in South Korea promises to improve, offering a more sustainable and desirable space for its residents. 7. Social welfare and healthcare. South Korea is among the countries with the best social welfare and healthcare systems in Asia. This is the result of years of economic growth, alongside improvements in policies to support its citizens. However, the strengths and limitations of this system also reflect the reality of life in the country. National Health Insurance System. South Korea operates a national health insurance system that covers nearly the entire population. All citizens and legal residents are required to participate, ensuring everyone has access to basic healthcare services. Contributions are calculated based on individual or household income, reducing the financial burden on low-income groups. Quality of healthcare services. Hospitals and medical centers in South Korea are renowned for their state-of-the-art facilities and highly skilled medical professionals. Major hospitals in cities like Seoul and Busan frequently receive international patients, demonstrating that South Korea's healthcare system not only meets domestic demand but also competes globally. Costs and accessibility. Although the health insurance system significantly reduces healthcare costs, some services, particularly advanced medical treatments or long-term care, are not fully covered. This poses challenges for middle or low-income families trying to access high-quality healthcare. Support for the elderly. In response to its rapidly aging population, South Korea has introduced numerous welfare programs for the elderly. These include pension subsidies, medical expense support, and home care services. However, loneliness and a lack of social connection among the elderly remain significant concerns. Future challenges. Despite its achievements, South Korea's welfare and healthcare systems face significant challenges. The imbalance between an aging population and financial resources is putting pressure on the National Health Insurance Fund. The government is working to balance maintaining service quality and reducing the strain on national budgets. 8. Urban-rural differences. South Korea, like many other developed nations, exhibits a stark contrast in living standards between urban and rural areas. This disparity is evident in employment opportunities, infrastructure, access to education and healthcare, as well as lifestyle choices. Urban life. Major cities such as Seoul, Busan, and Incheon are not only economic hubs but also centers of opportunity in fields like technology, finance, and services. However, alongside rapid development, urban living comes with challenges. High living costs, exorbitant housing prices, and overcrowding are some of the issues faced by city dwellers. Many families live in small apartments or even short-term rental units due to the unaffordable cost of owning a home. On the brighter side, urban areas offer modern conveniences such as advanced public transportation, large shopping centers, and top-tier schools and hospitals. Urban residents often lead busy lives, prioritizing careers and personal success. Rural life. In contrast, rural areas in South Korea exude a sense of peace and escape from the hustle and bustle of urban life. However, the rural population has been declining sharply, mainly due to young people migrating to cities in search of better job opportunities and education. As a result, many villages now consist mostly of elderly residents, leading to labor shortages and economic stagnation. Although rural living costs are lower, infrastructure in these areas often lags behind. Schools, hospitals, and public transportation systems are less developed, affecting the overall quality of life. Many farming families face challenges with agricultural product prices and dependence on weather conditions. The gap and its implications. The gap between urban and rural areas is not only economic but also extends to personal development opportunities and access to public services. This disparity has increased migration from rural to urban areas, leaving rural regions increasingly abandoned. The South Korean government has implemented policies to promote rural development, such as financial support for farmers, investments in infrastructure, and incentives for young families to settle in rural areas. Whether in urban or rural areas, life in South Korea has its unique advantages and disadvantages. The choice of where to live often depends on personal goals, needs, and financial capability. This diversity reflects South Korea's lifestyle spectrum and poses a significant challenge to sustainable national development. 9. Conclusion. Life in South Korea, as portrayed on television, is often painted with beautiful, glamorous, and sometimes overly idealized images. However, when approaching reality, life in the land of kimchi is not just a series of dazzling scenes but rather a composite picture of both advantages and challenges. South Korea boasts many outstanding strengths, including a modern transportation system, high-quality public services, and a rich cultural heritage. However, pressures from work, education, and high living costs have created significant difficulties, especially in major cities like Seoul. Additionally, disparities between urban and rural areas, air pollution issues, and cultural differences are factors that cannot be overlooked. On the whole, life in South Korea is both an opportunity to experience a distinctive culture and a challenge that requires adaptation. This does not diminish the allure of the country. Instead, it makes many people even more eager to explore the reality, move beyond the idealized images seen on screen, and gain a clearer understanding of life in South Korea. If you found this video engaging and interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe for more exciting videos to come.